Hello everyone. In today's video, for the low introductory price sale of absolutely nothing, you heard it here last, Amber Reid has now accused her aunt of such terrible things that her aunt is promising to take her to court to sue her. Have I not told you that one of these days Amber is going to mess with the wrong one and that person is going to take her to court? Now, whether or not this is actually happening and whether or not there's actually going to be a win in the lawsuit is up for debate because it hasn't happened yet. But Pookie, Hans Christian Pookie Reid, I hope this is everything that you have ever wished for. Does the fun ever start? Apparently it did. Everything I'm saying just for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take anything I say seriously. I'm sharing my opinions, not facts, and publicly accessible information, first made public by public figures. Please don't go to these people's channels and leave them mean comments. This is just for entertainment purposes only. So Amber did 2 live streams in which she rage quit. No one cares. And she basically went live because she was so triggered and upset by Aunt Tammy going on Jordy's live stream. I personally love that she's so upset about Jordy talking to Tammy. She's really obsessed with old Lordy. It's Kermit. I mean, old Lordy, it's Jordy. She's super obsessed with him. And now he's her nemesis, and her other nemesis, her aunt, is going online and exposing her. So the aunt said that she's going to sue her in response to this live stream that we're going to talk about now. Amber starts the live stream with a huge cup of soda and she sips it very aggressively and she puts it down, and I'm like, it's okay, Pookie, I'm still not afraid of you. And then she asked everyone, how is everyone doing? Amber, stop asking people that. The majority of your audience understand that you don't mean it. Sometimes some people in the world, they mimic what other people do because they think that this is the right thing to do. That's her mimicking what is the appropriate thing to say in a live stream. What she's doing is she's just doing her live streams, and she's using these live streams to just slander her aunt, but it's deeper than that. My opinion is what she's doing is she's just like raging at people. That's different than talking or commenting on, a public figure. No, you're just raging. What I'm trying to get at is you don't care if your audience is doing well, and it's palpable from how you ask. People can feel that you don't really mean it. You're just mimicking what you see other YouTubers doing. You don't care how your audience is doing. She says later on that this community is so terrible and unhinged, and people, of course, didn't believe what she was saying, and she rage quits. This was just like a few minute stream, like literally, as Hans Christian Amberlynn would say, it was a few minute stream, like, what is it, like 10 minutes? And then she rage quits and starts crying, of course, because Pookie, no one believed you. Do you need a blankie? I'm telling you, I feel a new blankie coming on. Okay. So basically, she says that she has just found out a bunch of stuff about her aunt. Some of it is funny, some of it is not, she says. Now, she says that Alexis texted her and said, oh, like Tammy going on Jordy's live stream, numerous times, third time, whatever. And all I have to say is obviously Alexis and Amber did not block each other like we were told. And you guys are friendly. You guys are friends, or at the very least talking. So this is really, really important. This changes things. And by the way, here's the thing. I knew that Alexis and Amber were already friendly because Amber already said it. So this will be important for the future. Like, I don't understand how Alexis can be friends with Amber after all of that. I do understand how Amber can be friends with Alexis after Alexis exposed her, because Amber is desperate. But we now see how the tables have shifted and turned. Very nice, Alexis. Okay. So Amber says she will spill the tea, and she got permission from somebody to spill all this tea. Amber, I'm going to give you another tip. So you have slandered your aunt. Guarantee that you don't have any proof of what you're saying, right? Because Amber makes it a big deal because when people try to bring anything up to her in the stream about what she's done, about her family, Amber says this: well, you guys don't have any proof. You don't have any proof. The thing is, Amber knows a lot of the stuff that Tammy is saying is true, but she knows that Tammy can't provide proof of certain emotional things, that maybe she felt or something, right? So whenever people are like, you don't have proof, it's because they know it really happened, and they know that the average person is going to go and get proof. But here, it's different. So Amber was told things by a family member. And Amber says that this is the first time she's ever heard it and she had no idea this happened. Amber, if you have no idea that what you are about to accuse your aunt of in this live stream, you admitted you did the worst possible thing for a slander and defamation suit ever. You just admitted in this live stream that you didn't know that this happened, meaning that you have no idea if it's true or not. So you just made outrageous accusations about a public figure, a member of your family, Tammy. I will try to explain what she said. But you clearly emphasized how you had no idea this happened, so you don't know if it's true when you said it. This sounds to me like you don't know if it's true when you said it. And it sounds like you're just saying it just to hurt her. So you have malicious intent. After she accused her aunt of all these terrible things in this live stream, she, said, cursed and did all these terrible things to her aunt. It's obvious that you're malicious, you're full of malice, and you're not sure if it's true when you said it. You just heard it. This is hearsay from somebody in your family. The reason that I mentioned these two things is there's a bunch of things that you have to prove when you sue somebody for defamation. Tammy, after this live stream happened, is saying that she's going to take Amber to court for defamation and slander. She's just saying it. I don't know if she's going to do it. I hope she does. But why am I bringing these two things up? There's a bunch of things that you need to prove in a defamation lawsuit. One of them is, did you say things with malice? If you watch Amber's live stream, what she says to her aunt, the rage, the aggressiveness of the way in which she speaks about her aunt, you could see that she's not joking around, and you can see that it is with malice. That will be easy to prove. All a judge and a jury have to do is just watch the video when you're saying these terrible things in an aggressive way to her. Secondly, you just hearing about these accusations that you're throwing at your aunt, there's no way that you have a deep foundation of belief that it is true. So you didn't know it was true when you said it. Basically, you believed it could be a lie when you said it. You have to know that something, you have to truly convey that you are believing something is true when you said it. If you don't believe something is true when you said it, you're in trouble for a lawsuit. Pookie, get ready to give up all your cash to Tammy's lawyer. Definitely won't be able to afford a blankie then. You cannot say anything you want on the internet without consequences. You have accused your aunt of, I'm just going to say it, she's accusing her aunt of crimes that she didn't commit, and she's accusing other people of crimes. Unless the person has been charged with those crimes and you're saying that they committed them, this is slander and defamation. You have now finally put yourself in exactly where I said you would. And by the way, a little foreshadowing, Tammy did say that she was slandered and defamed by Amber. Tammy, I'm just going to tell you right now, go and sue Amberlynn Reid, okay? Go and sue Hans Christian Amberlynn. Go and sue Amber. That's what she deserves, to give every last penny, not to her Legos, not to her amazing mommy. Oh, wait. She doesn't give mommy any money. She only buys her protein drinks once every few months. She needs to give all her money to your lawyer. Amber completely slandered Tammy. It's outrageous. Bottom line is, you cannot accuse a public figure of crimes that they did not commit and were not charged with. You understand what I'm saying? She clearly tells us in this live stream that she just heard about it. So you mean you flew off the handle and you made like a live stream to 200,000 people accusing your aunt and other people of crimes? This is outrageous. Okay. So basically, first she starts saying weird things that make no sense. She's trying to shame her aunt. She says, oh, ask my aunt if her beanie babies, have their time, whatever. I'm not even going to get into it. I don't even know what it means. Amber doesn't. Amber knows some kind of an inside joke that another family member told Amber. So obviously you're running around to other family members and talking about Tammy because you're mad about her. I thought your whole family wasn't bothered by Tammy. They were like done with her and that's it, and she's done with them. Right. So never forget that Amber's running around Tammy's family to try to get tea on her and drama on her and bad stuff on her to present it to her audience. Amber, I really hope she sues you. She accuses her aunt and her aunt's husband. Now, I don't know which husband this is. of the worst possible thing that you can imagine. Just imagine the worst possible thing. That's what she accuses her aunt of. And she also accuses her aunt of other things having to do in that respect with that situation. Worst possible thing you can imagine, okay? And she keeps saying that she's gonna spill this tea and all this other stuff, and her jaw was on the floor type deal. Amber, what are you going to do if Aunt Tammy sues you for your blatant lies? And then she says, Jordy, karma's going to come get you because you're platforming this point. I'm not going to frolic in the sun with Jordy. Yeah, because you had such a chance to hang out with him. How obsessed are you with Jordy that your whole life revolves around who he has on his live stream and what he says about you? Your whole life is not complete. Oh, gotta watch Jordy. And by the way, Alexis may have texted her. I don't doubt that. But you know that Amber's watching every reaction channel and knows exactly what all reaction channels like say. Like, Amber, it's time to drop the act. We all know. We all see you here. We all know that you are watching all the reaction channels. Like, please, sweetheart, think about how sad this sounds. As soon as somebody does something to you, you immediately know about it. That's because you're watching. The main thing I will say about what she accused her aunt of and whoever the husband was is, I don't know, whatever husband she's talking about. Amber, what you're accusing these people of is a slanderous thing. And it's one of the things, like basically the thing that she accused her aunt and the woman's husband of are the things where, like, if it isn't true, you don't actually have to prove financial damages. Remember, we talked about like defamation, and there's certain things that are defamation per se, meaning that there's a few things that you can accuse somebody of where the other person doesn't have to prove financial damages, right? Accusing a person of having a disease that they don't have, and or doing what she's doing, accusing a person of a crime that they didn't commit, right? Or, saying a woman is unchaste. These are just some of the things which is called defamation per se. You don't have to prove financial damages. Also, while we're on the topic, Amber, you were caught following a certain type of an account in the past. You made a very wordy response to it ASAP, because you were caught following. When a person over explains, I think they're lying. That's just my opinion. You also used to hang out with a girl, and I think, well, we're not going to say her name, but you deleted millions of views hanging out with her. You did say that Darlene and Roseanne, you love Darlene and Roseanne, right? When it was, like when it was airing? Okay. So the point of the story is, I can't believe that you of all people would say anything about a topic such as this. So I hope she sues you. So Tammy made a video in which the following was said. So the video is titled Amberlynn Reid, aka a slanderous. Amberlynn Reid went there, so we will go there together, right to the courthouse. I will be responding to her most recent video, not with slander, but clarifying truth. And the entire video gives examples between opinions and facts. So things like truth. If the defendant shows the statement they made was true, you cannot win a slander lawsuit. Truth is an absolute defense to slander. Opinion. If a defendant shows the statement was not one of fact, but one of opinion, you can't recover compensation for damages. And it gives examples. Look, this is the bottom line. I'm telling you this about defamation per se. If you accuse someone of a crime that they didn't commit, they don't have to prove any financial damages that were taken to their reputation. Amber, all of your money is going to go to your aunt. Also, more really important things, at least in my opinion. So in my opinion, Amberlynn Reid has shown a reckless disregard for the truth, which is a very big hallmark of a defamation type style, type deal, type nightmare for you, Hans Christian Pookie Reid. So she's just maliciously repeating a story that she just recently heard. There's no foundation of truth here. You're not even sure if it's true when you said it. Also, even if Tammy did sue, it doesn't mean that she would win, because sometimes there could be mitigating circumstances, and I have said this before, that defamation lawsuits are the hardest to win in the United States of America, because in America, one of the main big inalienable rights, like one of the biggest rights, and people would probably argue this is like the biggest right in the United States, is freedom of speech. So even though I believe that more than likely Amber, in my opinion, slandered Tammy, it doesn't mean Tammy would win. I don't really think that lawsuits are about winning. I think lawsuits are basically sucking all the money out of the other person. So that's what I mean about you. And that's what I'm talking about, Amber, with you. I think that if she just sucked all your money from your bank account and you couldn't pay your taxes, that would be a fun time, wouldn't it, Pookie? Amber is very, very, very upset about that spaghetti story where her auntie told us that when she was 14, her auntie met her and Amber was like getting spaghetti or whatever. She was embarrassed by the story and that her father said something. So she says, my grandma, my mother, and other members of the family have said that I never met you at 14. I only met you at 17. Look, I don't care if she met you at 25. The bottom line is that spaghetti story sounds to be true because this is such an intricate story. Like, to me, I believe your Aunt Tammy. Do I think that she should have shared it? I've already said it. No, I don't think she should have shared it. But I think you are just so embarrassed by the story, you'll say anything. What does it matter when she met you? She's just saying that so that all the heat can be taken off of her as far as the spaghetti story. Like, just admit the truth. Also, she says that in the live stream, when she was first listening to Tammy, when Tammy called into the live stream, and she was rocking back and forth and rocking back and forth, right? What happened there is she says her mom had seen Amber's live stream and said, oh, honey, this doesn't even seem like you. Yeah, because Amber was faking it. Amber needed to do something during the live stream because, well, she's very conscientious. She didn't want to respond to anything. She didn't even want to listen. Amber put zero effort into her live streams. Okay, she's only very tough and, oh, bad and all this other stuff when no one is responding to her. In this live stream, she goes off on Tammy, right? Saying all these outrageous, terrible things. But what she cannot do is respond in a debate, which is why when Tammy called her, she couldn't respond to anything. Amber, how dare you show that live stream to your mom? When you have said that your mom's health has been struggling over this whole family drama, why did you show it to her? Of course, and by the way, Amber always tells on herself, of course, of course, of course, of course. Your mommy doesn't recognize you there because you wear a mask with mommy. You were just pretending. And no, Amber, you did not disassociate. Please stop. You just didn't know what to say. You were too stunned to speak. Now, Amber live streams this for 10 minutes, starts crying, nobody believes her, and she rage quits. And by the way, I don't care that you rage quit. Now that you rage quit every single one of your live streams, you're just doing that for attention, so I don't care. Rage quit this Kermit. Okay, so then she does another live stream. In order to understand this next 3-minute live stream, I'm going to have to tell you something that happened in her older live stream. Remember, I had said that I never got through the end of her older live stream, and I'm going to explain to you what happened in the older live stream, and then we're going to get back to the other 3-minute live stream. Okay, so let's talk about the part 2 of her smug rage stream that I finally got to watch. I did tell you that it was very insufferable and it was very difficult for me to watch it, and I stand behind that. And now that I've seen the very end of her actual live, I'm just very disturbed. I'm not going to be able to repeat here what she said. She told a very transphobic story. Not repeating it here. I have nothing to say that I can say here because the things that I really want to say about Amber, I really can't say because they're against the TOS. So I will stay within the TOS and say, Amber, I'm just telling you this as a basic person that's been watching you on YouTube, okay? Not as a drama channel or anything like that. The things that you say are so awful that I am surprised that you yourself, I mean, I understand that you have no moral compass, that's my opinion, but the things that you say are so upsetting and they're so terrible. And you have been transphobic since the days when you used to shame Casey. All I will say here is that she says a very awful thing at the end of her live stream. Apparently, she's been saying it in the LOL Discord or something like this. She tries to blame what she said on another person's story that has nothing to do with what Amber said. What Amber said is absolutely outrageous, inappropriate, and really shows who she is as a person. Again, can't repeat it here. And I'll be honest with you, even if I could repeat it here, I wouldn't want to because it's really upsetting just to hear. So Amber, you are the same were years ago. And you know what? There will come one day, because I've already said this, all right? People like her always bring themselves down. You should be embarrassed of the things that you're feeling, and then for it to escape your mouth and for you to defend it. What happens is she compares what she said, which was highly inappropriate and just weirdly awful for her to even make the comparison that she made. She keeps blaming the other person for what the other person said that had nothing, like somebody said a story that happened to them that had nothing to do with Amber, and Amber made a really inappropriate comment in the Discord of LOL Live. And from my experience of watching Amber truly, like, I'm being serious with this next part, all right? Because you may not believe me, you may think, come on now, but I'm 100 on this. I think she genuinely believes that when she says things that are not on YouTube, most of her audience won't hear about it, won't see it, and then she doesn't have to defend it as much. And I think that she's genuinely surprised that people talk about what she says in other platforms. Amber, what you said is just as awful as all of your other behavior is. Okay, she also discusses something that is so not rooted in reality, which is she talks about her relationship with married Erica slash Valentine. She says this: Erica would send me her routine in the mornings when she was working out at the gym. I was a part of her morning routine. And yes, I love to stare at you, Erica slash Valentine. We were in a relationship. So she emphasizes that she was a part of Valentine's, morning routine. I'm just in there like, you never met. She was married, but let's just forget that she was married for 1 second, because I feel that I emphasize this all the time. I think y'all understand. This person never put in the effort to meet you. Look, I may be wrong because I'm not an expert on extramarital affairs, but usually when people have extramarital affairs, don't they meet up with the person that they're cheating with? She cared so much about you. You meant so much to her that she never met you. She was trolling you from the beginning. It wasn't a real relationship. At what point will you understand that and admit it? She wasn't one of your exes. You never met. She trolled you from the beginning, and she was married. Okay, she then goes on this mega rage against oh lordy, it's Kermit, or oh lordy, it's Jordy. She says that he's really into her, that he's obsessed with her, that he's constantly checking her out. And then she says a bunch of stuff about him that's against the TOS. She treats him so awful. And here's the thing, I understand that he criticizes her. I get that. But I think that she is hyper focused on him alone. And I think that she's obsessed with him. And the reason that I say that is because I've seen the way that she talks about me, Mr. Snowflake, see the way that she talks about other reaction channels. And the way that she speaks about Jordy is different. That's my opinion. Also, she did facilitate the personal private information of him. She said that she knows like where he lives and she knows all his private information, which is just like, it makes you a stalker that you are. She then says, somebody in the chat says like Jordy has 3 kids and he's married, and she's like, no, I know that he lives with his mom and plays World of Warcraft. You're right. He should be sitting around and doing Legos that he just throws out in the trash the way that you do. He should be burdening his mom to take him to the ER for fake false outrage. That's all it is. All of your diagnoses are fake false outrage. This is my opinion. I think she's always known that she's had arthritis, because there's no way it's a new diagnosis. I believe that 150%. If she has had any ultrasound, if she has had any CAT scans on her legs when she had that sprained ankle, when she tore her ligaments, and she made a 5-part series of how she's done talking about it, they would have had to have told her that she has arthritis in her hip or her legs, whatever. The point is, I don't think this is a new diagnosis. This is what I think. I think that Amber holds her diagnoses for the right time to release them. When one of your exes is ill or something like that, just to get the attention back to herself. Now, I think she's obsessed with Jordy. Her knowing his private information, knowing who he supposedly lives with, facilitating his private information, and then saying, oh, I know that he's obsessed with me and he's into me. I think it's sad for you, Amber. I think you're a stalker. And deeper than that, I think you're obsessed with him and it's really creepy. She calls him creepy, but you are the creepy stalker because he never bought your information and he never got your information from some friend. But you allegedly got his personal information because you were interested in it. You know, if somebody comes to me and they give me somebody's personal information, I wouldn't look at it if I wasn't interested in it. You were interested. And then she says they both should frolic in this, outside or whatever. Get some help. We just talked about a horrible joke that Amber made in the Discord, in LOL Discord, okay? So now we are back to Amber's second live stream that she quit the other day called I Will Not Let This Rumor Spin Its Own Narrative. So it is not a rumor. The joke that she had made was inappropriate and it was about Casey. It had to have been because Casey was the only person that she was involved with as far as like the topic that she was talking about, okay? So she does something very, very inappropriate and just terrible in this live stream. First of all, she lets everybody know that she was never involved with Casey like that at all whatsoever. She just wasn't. So now that you have let us know that you were never involved with Casey like that, that means that your Rain and Petals eavesdrop story was a blatant lie, which was obvious because you continue to try to reach out to Casey after supposedly this whole situation had happened, and you obviously took back your story with a video where you said you used the wrong word. So here's my point. She is so angry right now that she's been caught. See, she made a bad joke. As I said earlier, she made a terrible joke. It wasn't funny. It wasn't a joke, but to her it is because she is who she is, right? So what the situation is, since she really feels this way and she doesn't understand that on Discord, things are still seen on Discord. People will still talk about what you do on other platforms. It's amazing. She never really fully understood that. She still won't understand it after now. So because she's so angry that she's been exposed for these terrible things that she's saying, she's now so angry, she's so blinded by her rage. And I gotta say, the only thing I was blinded by was science. But anyways, I'm sorry, I've been watching a lot of Psych lately. If you want a fun show to watch Psych. But the point is, Amber was not blinded by science. She's in such a giant rage that she's sitting there and she's like, oh yeah, well, this never happened between me and Casey. But I thought you said that it did. And you accused Casey of all of these terrible, horrible things. That's what all her comments say, that she's so angry. It's obvious. And by the way, I know exactly what's going to happen. When this gets out, and obviously it's public, so now it's out, she's going to say, how dare you say that? Casey did this, this, and this to me in a different way. I know where she's going with this because she's already admitted that her, Rain and Petals story was a lie because she's so angry. She's not understanding. See, here's the thing. When you lie about things, you can't keep your lies straight. You ever heard of that idea that, an honest person doesn't have to have a good memory because they don't have to remember all their lies? Well, she is so angry right now that her little statement has come back to, haunt her. She thought it was on Discord. She thought nobody would see. That's not true. That now she has just pretty much highly implied and admitted that her story with Casey wasn't true. Amber, get some help. You ruined the life of Casey by throwing outrageous accusations at him. And then even years ago, you said that you used the wrong word, and that's not exactly what happened. And now you're saying that nothing like that happened with Casey at all. So thanks, Amber, for lying about everything. Hey, my girly pops. So right after that happened, Amber went live and she said that she's leaving YouTube. She's taking a break until October 1st because it's best for her mental health. Okay. First of all, Amber, it's obvious, in my opinion at least, sweetheart, you are afraid of being sued. So you believe that now that Tammy said she's going to see you in court, right? And she's going to sue you, that you think that if you leave YouTube, that lawsuit won't go through. Sweetheart, if you say something slanderous, even if you never repeat it again, I promise you, even if you leave, it doesn't matter. You're still going to be sued. Amberlynn is so intelligent. You see, she believes that if she doesn't say it anymore, or if she goes backwards, or if she doesn't go on YouTube, that's all you do. You run away. You run away when something gets tough. Get a Kermit. By the way, here is some advice for Amberlynn. I know some of you are not going to be happy that I give her this advice. You're always like telling me, hey, don't tell her the right thing to do. Don't worry. She won't do this. Hans Christian Pookie Reid, some advice from somebody you probably don't like and don't want to listen to, but here's some genuine advice for you. Apologize publicly and take down the video. Say that you were mistaken, say that you were incorrect, and that you had an excited, I don't know, no, not an excited utterance. What can we say? Well, basically, that you were just mad and said something you shouldn't have said, and you were misled, you didn't know what you were talking about, you bought 17 kermits on Amazon and you only got 3, whatever you want. My advice, take down the videos immediately and apologize. You have to issue a retraction. Maybe she won't sue you then. You must say that you were lying and that the things that you have accused her and her husband of are absolutely dreadful. You have no proof. By the way, we're going to go through what she said and my thoughts on it, right? I just want to say something. Amber, and this is strictly directed towards Amberlynn Reid, Hans Christian Pookie Reid. What if you're wrong? What if you're wrong? What if whoever told you something didn't tell you the right story? What if you're wrong? Do you understand? You just accused people of crimes they didn't commit. Defamation per se. Have your kermit or your lawyer tell you what defamation per se is. They don't even have to show damages. I've said that way too much throughout this video. All right, let's go through my notes of what Hans Christian Pookie Reid said. So she said, I'm taking a break from YouTube. People get upset when I don't update them. And then there's always these rumors that, oh, you know, when Amber doesn't post for like a few weeks, that she has gotten a strike and that's why she can't post. This never happened. Okay, listen, I know you love reading This Never Happened magazine, but the point is, it did happen, Hans Christian Pookie Reid. So Amberlynn Reid, especially when I first started talking about her, she did get community guideline strikes. She wasn't allowed to post for 2 weeks. And she even admitted that YouTube took down her video. In those days, when you would break the rules, you couldn't post right away. Now the rules have changed. I go into this in my other videos. But the point is, sweetheart, the reason why there's rumors, it's not a rumor. This is the wild part about her lie here, right? She has had so many videos taken down, and she's come on YouTube and said, yes, YouTube took down this video. Yes, YouTube took down this video, but you know, I understand them. Amber, sweetheart, you've admitted to YouTube taking down your videos and you getting into trouble. Do you understand how serious it is when YouTube takes down your video? Sometimes they do it as a mistake and then they reinstate it, but not in your case, Hans Christian Pookie Reid. So she says that this thing with my aunt is insane. She can speak her truth, but the minute I speak mine, she says, see you in court. I think the problem here is that she's telling the truth and you're telling what you deem your truth. Let me tell you something. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to believe anything I say to you, but I could just share an opinion with you. Whenever anybody comes on and says, I need to share my truth. I need to share my truth. Like if I was telling you something, it would never be my truth. It would be, this is what had happened. And if you don't want to believe me, you don't have to, but that's what happened. Whenever Amber says, this is my truth, don't believe you, Pookie Reid. Do not believe you. She says, I've had slander happen to me for 12 years on YouTube. Okay, so I just want to stop here and say this. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt for a second. She has not been slandered for the most part, but let's just give her the benefit of the doubt. Amber, I want to tell you something about lawsuits. If you truly felt that you were slandered and you decided, or let's just give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she was slandered before on YouTube, right? So if you were slandered, it was your responsibility, if you felt so inclined, to file a lawsuit. There's something called statute of limitations, Pookie. Check your state. What the laws are, because defamation laws are different in each state. So usually it's about 2 years, but there's some states that don't have 2 years. They have less. The point is, the statute of kermits have run out of your karma bag. Anyways, the point of the story is this, Amber. Just because you were slandered in your mind or truly and chose not to sue has got nothing to do with Aunt Tammy being slandered and choosing to sue. So, honey, even if you were like slandered and nobody cares, you chose not to do anything about it. By the way, Amber recently said that she's too lazy to sue anybody. So make it make sense, Hans Christian Pookie Reid. What are you talking about? If you're too lazy to sue anybody, fabulous. Enjoy your life. But other people are not too lazy to sue, like your aunt. That's what I'm talking about. Also, Amber, people literally post your clips and give opinions. You're just mad that people spill the tea and we see all the stuff you do behind the scenes. Amber, you're so intelligent that you still haven't figured out that just because somebody got slandered doesn't mean they won a lawsuit. Slandering somebody isn't enough. You have to go through the proper channels to get a remedy. By the way, slander and defamation lawsuits, everybody says, are the hardest lawsuits to win in the United States of America. So, also, Amber, you never sued anybody. She says this in this live stream. I never sued anybody. Because in the beginning, you didn't have the money. And when you did, you were too lazy, as you said. This is what she actually said. I'm too lazy. Here's the thing, Amber. She says that she has all these savings. And sweetheart, let me tell you something. I'm just going to throw out a number. Let's say you have $20,000 to $30,000 saved. That's going to be enough. Maybe it has not been enough for discovery. I don't think you have enough money. I'm being serious. If I was your friend in real life, sweetheart, I'd tell you don't have enough money. It's 100 to 200,000 to go through an entire lawsuit. And then you would lose possibly. So then where are you going to get all the money? She says that Tammy is a hypocrite and you won, Tammy. You try to silence me. This is just another way to silence me. How dare you? You've tried to silence Apathetic Facts. You tried to silence Apathetic Facts' channel was almost deleted. You gave them so many copyright strikes, okay? You're now currently trying to silence Bottle, you keep giving them copyright strikes. Do not get me started on all the channels that, in my opinion, she got demonetized, okay? There's a few channels. Amber, I think you need to quit while you are ahead. Also, Amber, I have a serious question, and this question is definitely for Amber. Dear Amber, what are you so worried about? So what if she sues you? You not only have all the money that you say you have, but since you're sure that you did not slander Tammy, you have nothing to worry about. Right? Right? She's leaving because she knows she has something to worry about. Look, when somebody says it, like, okay, let's say Amber right now would say that she's going to sue me. It would be funny to me. I know I've never slandered her. I've always said these are my opinions, not facts. I've never accused her of all these terrible things. You have to understand. The fact that she's running away means that she's scared, means that she has a guilty conscience. Go get a guilty Kermit. I know my evil Kermit's a little guilty. She says that she might see me in court, but there's nothing to win because I believe what I said is 100% true. The problem is that's not enough. If you believe someone committed a crime and they did not commit a crime, and you went and you said this to 200,000 subscribers, Amber, sweetheart, you accused people of committing crimes. Okay, they have every right to sue you, Amber. Pookie spent all night, I have a feeling, Googling slander, defamation, Kermits. Listen, Amber, you need Joe the legal weasel to represent you. That's my favorite attorney. I think he's Kermit's lawyer. Anyway, he's fantastic. He's a wonderful attorney, and I don't stand behind anything I say about Joe the legal weasel. No, he's fantastic. Anyways, look, anyone that is representing Kermit, I wonder, do you think he'll represent my evil Kermit? No, maybe need to get outside counsel. Anyways, the point of the story is, sweetheart, you told us in this live stream, she goes like this, I believe what I'm saying is true. Remember what I said in the beginning of this video? She must have Googled it. Sweetheart, you came off like you had no idea what was going on. Like it was, you were so excited to tell us the tea. It was hearsay. Somebody told you some nonsense and you're doing broken telephone. Now you're going to be doing broken telephone with a lawsuit. If you want to ask me, like, do I think that Tammy will sue? No. But she could, and I hope I'm wrong, but whatever. Okay, so she says, why is it that Tammy can say what she wants and all this other stuff, and the minute that I say anything, sweetheart, she hasn't accused you of a crime you didn't commit. You have to understand, like, what I don't understand about Amber claims that she got a lawyer, right? Well, sweetheart, if you have a lawyer, you wouldn't, listen, this is my opinion. If this woman had a lawyer and they had conversations, she wouldn't be saying this. The problem is in the entertainment business, and this is just my opinion, not a fact, people always get lawyers too late. That's my opinion. You always get a lawyer when you're in trouble. Get a lawyer before you get in trouble. Have them explain to you as a public speaker, what you can and cannot say. I promise you, accusing people of crimes they didn't commit, very bad. So then she says, I'm glad I have friends who will have my back. What does that mean? Other than your lawyer, no one can help you. Honey, if you have a lot of friends, which we know you're lying about, it's sad. It's not sad that you don't have friends. It's definitely okay not to have friends. It's very weird to continuously lie about it. What are your friends going to do for you? I'm going to tell you this. If you believe nothing I say, believe this. If Amberlynn Reid is sued, her friends or people around you are just going to sit around watching. They're not going to be able to affect change. She says that she has all these savings. You're not going to be able to pay for this. As I said, it's just no. She says that drama on YouTube is not worth it. And the drama on YouTube is otherworldly. It's not her actual life. This I love what she says. Your aunt has been exposing you for years, first on Kiwi Farms and now here. Your family member, somebody that knows you in your inner circle, is telling reaction channels and spilling massive tea on you. Okay, there's another person. It's not just Tammy. And your grandma and you fought on your birthday and she kicked you out of the house at 18. And Aunt Tammy has revealed that, it's not the best relationship. What do you mean you don't have drama? Like in your real life, sweetheart, I would argue that you have more drama in your personal life. And I've said this before. We don't know you personally, but the people that do know you personally are exposing you. How is it possible that everybody has the same opinion? She says that people who are trying to not agree with some other YouTuber still support Tammy. What does that mean? First of all, certain YouTube audiences, not girl world, okay, not girl world, but certain YouTube audiences are very fickle. They love you today, they don't love you tomorrow. I will say that in my opinion, what's happening is on YouTube, people are always waiting for YouTubers' downfalls. But stop comparing Tammy to everybody. You know what you did. I'm gonna say this again, like Lauren said to Heidi, on the hills, you know what you did. She should have added the word Pookie, so I'm going to do it. You know what you did, Pookie. You just accused people last night. Go delete it. Go apologize. She then backtracks on what she said, which is, the fear talking of being sued. Oh, I'm not calling my aunt what I called her, she pretty much says. Amber, you haven't even had the good sense to delete the video. Just stop. So she's already backtracking, but it's already on it's already on video. You live streamed it. Listen, here's some advice. You don't have to take it, but I'm still going to give it. My personal opinion is when you're very, very angry at somebody, don't say anything. Take some time. I would say take a week. If you still feel the same, then tell them. You'll calm down. You'll see things more clear. No matter, I've had that happen to me, to all my friends, so many times. Sometimes you're real angry, and I speak from personal experience. I've made silly, stupid mistakes where I was angry and I would say something out of anger, and it's just not the right thing. Give it a week. If you still feel the same in a week, okay. She then says that she's only using her voice to speak for the people that could not speak up. Please, you got told a story, you immediately ran to YouTube. You don't know if it's true. What if it's not true? You can't accuse people of crimes that they have not been convicted of and believe that you're not going to be sued for slander. By the way, this whole thing about her leaving until October 1st, the minute that she sees Jordy's live, she's going to be all up on there with her own very own Kermit watching it. Come on. You don't actually believe that she's leaving until October 1st. First of all, I find it highly inappropriate that you are letting your audience members, like the members of your channel, continue to pay. What are you all paying for? What are you all paying for? She doesn't even stream anymore. She's no longer streaming. She's not providing any content. Amber, you need to turn off your memberships. You won't, because that's the type of person that you are. And I believe she will be on Instagram. I believe she will be on TikTok. She says that she won't be on Instagram and TikTok. This is what I predict she's going to be doing. She's going to be doing rage crash outs on Insta. She's going to be spying on everybody on TikTok and Instagram. What else do you have to do? Even if you're not posting content, what else do you have to do, Pookie? Come on now. She says that she loves streaming and filming, but she doesn't love the rest and all this drama. You have put zero effort into streaming. You have put zero effort into live streaming. You show us your ceiling. You haven't filmed videos in a long time. You let the camera fall. Don't even edit it out. Is that the love for streaming and videos that you speak of? She also says very smugly, she's so smug, I've asked my boss and they said I could take time off. I'm taking a leave of absence. Take your leave of Kermit too, please. Honestly, Amber, you are so ungrateful for this job you have. You could have done so much with your life. You could have helped yourself so much. And all you have now is nothing and a potential lawsuit. Also says it will be great when she leaves for so many of the people that are obsessed with her, including Aunt Tammy. Yeah, everybody's obsessed with you. They couldn't possibly be doing this for a paycheck, of course. Yes. She says, no matter how happy I am on YouTube, whatever era I am on YouTube, people don't care for me. Bad things can happen to people like this. Amber, you've done everything to yourself, okay? Anyone else would have disabled comments, deleted social media, or left YouTube. You actually don't want to work. That's why you continue to be here. Stop blaming your audience. Take responsibility for yourself, Hans Christian Pookie Reid. The community is mainly responding to what you're saying. You know, most people just put your video in theirs and they respond. How are they defaming you, slandering you, whatever, when they're just responding to what you're saying? She says that she gets so many DMs and people are so nice to her there. Yeah, I've already explained it. They're fake supporters. If they were real, they would support you publicly. And I will say there are some people that do support her publicly, of course, under a fake name in her comment section. Those are people that I guess support you for real. She says people dissect every drop of my life, and the people that are making this okay is the reaction channels. You're a public figure. So if I was intelligent enough like you to come here and talk about my personal life, the same thing would happen to me. By the way, here's how reaction channels started. Amber was lying to her audience. She started off with not many viewers. She got like a boost with her mukbangs. But basically what happened is her own audience started turning on her before reaction channels even started, okay? They saw she was lying. They called her out. And then some of the people from the audience just became reaction channels. That's how it happened. Most reaction channels will tell you that when they first started watching her, they loved her. I've already said that before. If you watched my very, very early times when I would talk about Amber, I always said that I thought that she was fun. I thought she was, somebody people could relate to a really long time ago. And then I found out who she was. So the point is, the reaction channels are your audience. They came from your audience. Like, we are your audience. I don't think you understand that. She says that things were never as bad before as without the reaction channels. I just explained that. Amber, at the end of the day, you've done this all to yourself. Good luck with your lawsuit. Thoughts, comments, dislikes, leave them in the dislikes down below. We have so much more to talk about. I want to thank you all so much for watching today. We will be continuing this conversation later. Check out this video that's popping up here on a similar topic. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye.